welcome to the 93rd edition of the Wildcat Sports Network. I'm your host in year 2 and final year, Connor Jenkins. We've got a Goliath of a show today with Wood and Superintendent Dr. Jared Cleveland joining us to break down Wildcat sports, as well as a very special guest where we will go all the way to KNWA to cover this one, as we've got Dan Scoff joining us, not in our studio, but in his. We've also got a very, very, very special guest all the way from ESPN. We don't have a second to waste. It's November 3rd, 2022, and the Wildcat Sports Network starts right now.
He's gone, touchdown, Har-BER Wildcats.
Joining us now in the studio to kick things off is Coach Wood. Coach, thanks for joining us. Coach, the Wildcats followed the Rogers Mountie last Friday, 55-6. What's your thoughts on how your team performed in this game?
Well, it was a little bit rough. Offensively, we really struggled trying to get the run game going. Our run game kind of sets up all of our passing, and so our guys competed. It's just you got to tip the cap to Rogers. They did a really nice job of loading the box and get our run game stopped. Defensively, I thought we really settled down after the first couple of possessions, even though they got points. So we were in it through that second quarter, but just a tough field position for them to have to defend a short field. And but it just goes back to just coming up on the short end and some key opportunities.
Mm-hmm. And the Wildcats fall to 1-5 in conference play with that one win coming against crosstown rival the Springdale Bulldogs. How do you think your team has performed this season?
Well, it's kind of been, a little bit up and down here and there, but I love their effort. I love their commitment each and every week. It's just, we get in most of those games, you go back to the West. We came out sluggish, played a really fantastic second half. Against Southside, we're playing really good offensively and kind of stall out towards the end of the game. Defense has a little bit of a challenge getting some stops here and there. So it just really comes back, it just seems like we just haven't been able to do enough just to get over the hump, but it's not because of lack of effort and desire by our players.
Mm-hmm. And then we come to a very interesting scenario. Of course, we got the Fayetteville Bulldogs this Friday, and if we upset them, then this scenario changes. But at the same time, it hinges on the Springdale and Southside game, on the result of that. If Springdale wins, they get the 6th seat, they go to the playoffs. If it goes vice versa, then the Wildcats get the 6th seat and go to the playoffs, barring that upset. What do you think of this scenario?
Well, that's one of them. There's also the Heritage scenario. Mm-hmm. And so, all three of us control our own destinies, really. If Heritage can beat Rogers, if Springdale can beat Southside, they position themselves for the 6th seed. We can beat Fayetteville, we position ourselves for the 6th seed. If two of us lose and one wins, that person's in. If all three of us come up short, with tiebreaker and all that, we fall into that 6th spot. So there's a lot of variables going to play out on this last 10th week of the football date.
And then how important is this game against Fayetteville? You just talked about it. How important really is this?
Oh, it's a huge game. Where it really matters is, we want to win the game for our senior class. We want them to be, it's going to be their last game on their home field on a Friday night under the lights. And we want them to go out with a win. And so for us, that's the most important thing is about tonight. I know there's a playoff implication to it and everything else, but really just when the day's done, we want those seniors to be able to walk off that field with their head high, enjoy the moment, and get a win against Fayetteville, and that would be everything for us.
Mm-hmm. And then, it's been a little bit of a rough season, but at the same time, you have a very young group. Tell us about the future of Har-BER High School in football.
Well, I'm probably not going to talk too much about the future of Har-BER football now because I think that takes away from this year's team. Mm-hmm. And then we don't want to look ahead to 2023 when we're focused solely on 2022 in the game we have tonight. I can tell you this, outside of Friday night and us coming up short and not winning games, and nothing hurts a coach more than when those kids spill their heart and soul on a Friday night. They come up on the short end, they come for that meeting at midfield, and you're going to have to give them that talk, and you just look at the hurt, look at the disappointment in their faces when they've invested so much in it. And so that's the toughest thing. outside of that, you know, our guys have worked hard every week. They're a fun group to be around. We've had a lot of really good things going on. It does not show on a scoreboard on a Friday night, but the growth of this team, the growth of these young men through the course of a year, I couldn't be more prouder of them. And when the day's done, winning and losing is really critical, but it's about the journey of preparing people for life, and our guys are in a really good position to take that next step in their growth.
And then what can we expect, and how do we get around it against Fayetteville tonight?
Well, I mean, they do a really good job throwing the ball. I mean, they're probably 73% pass. And so we know they're going to put it in the air. They're also going to work the outside run game because, you know, last week some of our biggest hiccups in our run defense has been on the edge. So we know they're going to attack that. Offensively, we got to move the sticks. We got to get first downs. We got to flip the field position. We've got to be efficient in our passing game, and then don't give up the big plays. We've got to create a couple here and there, and you've heard me say that over and over. But that's the truth. I mean, you don't give up big plays and you create some. Win the turnover battle, and I think things can go our way.
Coach, thanks for joining us, and good luck tonight as always.
I appreciate it.
The Wildcats will take on the Fayetteville Bulldogs right after this show. But in case you missed the highlights from the last game, we've got them for you. Take a look.
It's hot, and so are the savings at Springdale Tractor Company when you buy the Kubota L-Series tractor package. Right now, the Kubota L2501 DT tractor and loader, it's just $18,500 cash, or choose 0 down with 0.99% financing up to 60 months. Save green when you buy orange and the Kubota L-Series tractor package from Springdale Tractor Company. If you need it now, don't wait. Come see us in Springdale at 6160 West Sunset Avenue or shop online at springdaletractor.com.
At America's Car Mart, our purpose is providing customers peace of mind with quality vehicles to keep you on the road. And right now, we're kicking off 2021 with a huge sale, the New Year's sale. Drive away today for as low as $199 down on select vehicles. Ask about the New Year's sale or start your approval online right now. No matter where you are on your car buying journey, we're here for you, keeping you on the road. America's Car Mart.
When getting a mortgage, you need a team that is dependable. With over 50 years of combined experience, Advantage One Mortgage LLC are here for your needs. They also offer cash-out refinancing and free pre-approval. If you have questions regarding income, credit, or funds to close, call us today.
Accidents are never planned. But no matter how small, every emergency that involves a child is a big deal. It's everything. That's why we're here. Arkansas Children's Northwest offers the only pediatric emergency room in Northwest Arkansas with fast access, pediatric experts, and kid-sized care. Peace of mind when you need it most.
Goodbye, guessing. Hello, confidence. So long, stress. Hello, security. Farewell, running to the bank. Hello, banking from anywhere. Get a quick view of your balance, lock lost debit cards, and quickly deposit checks anywhere, anytime with the highly rated Arvest Go mobile app from Arvest Bank. Goodbye, limits. Hello, possibilities.
Ballpark Franks got their start in 1957, right here in the ballpark. And with the taste of 100% Angus beef, passed down from one generation to the next, they soon became a tradition everywhere, bringing on the feeling of summer in every bite. Ballpark Franks, bring on summer.
Are you ready for a new career opportunity? Ready for
teamwork?
Ready for
competitive benefits?
Ready for
A friendly culture?
Ready for
Stability and growth?
Ready for
Limitless opportunities.
Cintas, ready for the workday.
Arkansans appreciate community. We work and raise families, care for our neighbors, and come together in good times and bad. At First Security, that local strength is what we love best about our home state. There is commitment here, and heart, and hope. Thank you to everyone who is standing together, learning from one another, and making Arkansas a place we all love to call home. We're proud to be your community bank.
At Northwest Health, you can check in online for urgent care and ER visits. This simple step lets you pick a time that's convenient and saves your spot in line before you arrive. It's our new approach to the waiting room. Visit mynorthwestanycare.com.
Welcome back, and joining us now is the man himself, senior NFL insider, Chris Mortensen. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Connor, it's a pleasure. Thanks for asking.
And Chris, you know a lot about what it takes to be successful. You started at ESPN in 1991 and have been a huge part of the analyst team for the NFL, being a part of NFL Countdown and many more shows. Can you tell us about how you reached this level of success?
Many more shows, yes. Well, I don't know that anything was planned. I mean, I really started out basically in Torrance, California, which was, I consider my hometown. I was born in Inglewood, California, which is a suburb of LA, and just grew up playing sports, football, basketball, baseball, and ended up working at the local newspaper called the Daily Breeze on a Friday and Saturday night when it wasn't basketball season or in season for anything else. Lost my spleen playing football, so it gave me a little break there. So I was working part-time there, and then things evolved to where eventually that newspaper hired me, asked me if I was interested in being their high school sports editor, which was covering all sports. And as I was going to junior college, El Camino, but I also got interrupted by the U.S. Army. I was drafted. So I'm giving you the short version to tell you that's how I started. And covering the high school sports for the Daily Breeze was a wonderful experience. We had 32 high schools in our area. I covered George Brett, who some people may know, when he was a senior at El Segundo High School. So I'm really dating myself here.
Yeah.
But the one thing that gave me was I did have a passion. I wanted to coach and teach. That was my first goal. But I took a left turn or a right turn, I can't remember which it was, into this. And I think that was, if I could ever recommend to anybody, if they had a passion for something, is don't think you're too good to not start at the bottom. Now, that's not the bottom, but it's the foundation. That's how I look at it. When we build a house, we build it on a foundation. So that was the foundation to my career. And it just evolved from there. I did high schools for almost 4 or 5 years, junior college and everything. Taught me how to build relationships. I built that passion for reporting. And then I actually was asked by our sports editor if I would want to cover Major League Baseball. And so I covered the LA Dodgers, Tommy Lasorda's for 6 years. That was the team I grew up with. And then I was recruited by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution to cover Atlanta Braves. So that evolved, met my wife Mickey there, and that was a turning point in my life, obviously. And so went from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution to a thing called the National Sports Daily. Nobody will remember it, but it was a big part of where I am now because that paper had some of the greatest journalists, sports journalists in the country, and that's where ESPN's kind of studied my work, and a guy named Fred Godelli, who is well known in our business. He's been the executive producer of Sunday Night Football for NBC for a long time. He was working at ESPN then. He asked me if I'd be interested in doing the NFL draft. And I said, sure, I'll try it. And didn't really like TV, didn't want to do TV. In fact, I almost quit 2 or 3 times. I didn't like having makeup on, didn't like combing my hair. As you can tell, I don't like combing my hair. Didn't shave, all those things, but it's worked out.
And how did the show Mort Report specifically come about? What was your expectations going in, and how do you think you've exceeded or met those?
Well, I mean, Mort Report was just to play off my name, obviously. Now I say that because everybody thinks, my mom, where she worked, they called her Mort. Nobody likes to say Mortensen, so they'll say Morty or Mort, and so it was just to play off my name, and so I joined NFL Countdown that same year in 1991, and Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, who now is my best friend, played for the Denver Broncos for 14 years. Joe Theismann, and people should know him. He was a great quarterback for the Washington team. And me, we were on the desk, and that's kind of where the Mort Report was birthed. And ESPN wanted to call it that, and I didn't object. So that was basically it. But what it really is just practicing your journalistic skills as a reporter, and trying to figure out how to do that in a shorter period of time. Because the toughest thing for a writer back then, if you wrote about a topic, you didn't do it in 30 seconds. So trying to figure that out and turn it into a caption, which now is Twitter, was very difficult for me.
And in 2016, you broke the story of that NFL season, that legendary quarterback Peyton Manning would be retiring. And if that's not its feat in itself, you also were suffering from stage 4 throat cancer and were getting treatment at the time. So tell us, how you had the strength to still do your job during that and come back and be a survivor of cancer.
Well, since it's my job to tell the truth, I'm going to tell you the truth. I didn't do anything. All I did was lay in a bed at MD Anderson Hospital in Houston, Texas, and got a phone call, and I wasn't taking many phone calls because my throat was pretty, I was undergoing radiation. It was pretty burned up, and I saw Peyton calling, and he simply called me to tell me he was letting a few people know that he was going to retire the next day. And that was really how it happened. And then before he hung up, he said, "Hey, do you want to break this story?" I said, "I'm not really working." Peyton, we've known each other a while. I said, "But sure, I'd love to." And he goes, "Well," he said, "can you give me one night to just enjoy my last night as an NFL quarterback?" I said, I think I can give that to you. And so I actually called my boss and told him what I had. And my boss, a man named Seth Markman, got extremely nervous that we were going to sit on a very big story. I said, "I gave my word. And that's all I can tell you is that if you give your word, the trust factor is probably one of the most important traits you have as a reporter, and I would say even as a person in anything you do." And I said, I gave my word, he trusted, and we're going to be disciplined enough to stick to that. But first thing next morning, he released it, and then that's how that story broke.
And you've broken several major stories with you're always on the pulse of the NFL. Your finger is always on the pulse. Tell us maybe what's your most legendary story that you've broken, or maybe your favorite story that you've ever broken.
Well, without question, the most important story in my life as a journalist came in from the years 1987 to 1990. And it was when I was swapping over from baseball to football. And I was advised, if you want to start meeting people, building relationships, because I always will tell people that building relationships is the most important thing you can do in our business. He said, you need to go to Mobile, Alabama, and just meet people at the Senior Bowl, where college graduates play an all-star game. But it was at that Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama that I was told anyways, that there were a couple sports agents from New York who were in the music business but had crossed over and signed about 18 first-round players illegally. But not only that, they were connected to the mafia, and that they were threatening people, and that from that moment on, that was about January of 1987, it dragged me on this incredible story. I can't tell you how many stories I wrote, but it won me a lot of awards. I got nominated for the Pulitzer a couple of times. My newspaper thought I should have won it one year, but it ended up even more spectacular than I just described. It was a mafia captain. There were people who were injured and beat up. It was a very interesting situation. Ended up in a U.S. District Courtroom in Chicago. Resulted in changing of a lot of laws and statewide as player agents could interact, which is actually doesn't mean anything now with everything going on in college sports with NIL. Mm-hmm. But the spicy part of it was that you actually had the mafia involved, and it led to a book that I wrote as well. So that kind of gobbled up a lot of time, but also brought me more into a national focus as well. But you know, it's like one of those stories of a lifetime. Very, very few times you get the story of a lifetime, and you would have had to been there. Because, by the way, about 5 of those players. And the unfortunate part is a lot of the reporting that I did made some players ineligible. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel bad at the time, but later on I felt, wow. But what am I going to do? I just got, you follow what your facts are, you trust your sources, or you trust, what detectives or an FBI special agent would call evidence, and you do your reporting on it. So it was a story of a lifetime, and along the way you still continue to build those relationships as you're covering the National Football League, which I still was.
Mm-hmm. And then, speaking of, you signed a new deal. You told me right before this interview you've been doing it for 33 years. I mean, what's next for Chris Mortensen at ESPN?
Well, it's a good question because I'm basically 71 years old. So, people say, "What do you feel like retiring?" I was talking to actually an old editor of ours, John Walsh, who was really the basis for the jump-starting Sports Center. John Walsh, and we were talking yesterday, and it's like retiring is one of those funny things. It's like, I know I'm a Christian man. There's nothing in the Bible about retirement. I don't feel like retired, I guess, but I have downsized quite a bit. I mean, at this point, I've downsized where I'm just doing Sunday NFL Countdown. Mm-hmm. And so my retirement is in the works, but as long as I'm alive, especially after undergoing, as you described earlier, stage 4 cancer, which has certainly had its impact on me physically and in every which way. Some of it's good, by the way. But at the same time, I enjoy doing that work, and I'm kind of what you say. Some people always talk about ramping up. I'm ramping down, but you also have people that people in your family that you love, and relationships you build, and being part of a church, and all those things, they're all part of my life. It's not the most important thing in my life. It used to be, and it was probably misplaced, but I think if you study people's careers, that's how it works.
Mm-hmm. And then what advice would you give, I mean, you kind of touched up on it earlier, but what advice would you give to young students who are watching and who are aspiring to be in the same position that you are today?
Well, I give this kind of basic speech no matter what the goal of that individual young person is, which is find your passion. If you have a passion for something, don't make your motivation money. Where can I go make the most money? Now I'll get knocked in the side of the head by some people probably, but follow your passion, and if it's your passion, then see what doors it open. You can't doors won't open unless you have a passion, and you are going to run into, you'll have road bumps, you'll have doors that are locked, and that passion will steer you, I think, through all those obstacles that you face in the way. And the other thing is just, build a good foundation, and don't be afraid to start at the bottom part of that foundation. I once had, when I worked at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, we We had a student from the University of Alabama, had just graduated. I'll say he came from a well-to-do family. I'll just leave it that way. But he came out of our managing sports editor's office. He had kind of a long face on, and he came walking down the newsroom. And there used to be newsrooms, by the way. He came down the newsroom and he came and saw me. I said, why the long face? You know, and he said, well, I just talked to Van. You know, he wants me to go cover high school. And I didn't go get a degree to cover high schools. I said, so what did you tell him? He said, I told him I would think about it. I said, go back in there and shake Van's hand and tell him, thank you very much. You're going to love covering high schools. And I don't know if he did that, but he did end up covering high schools for a while.
Mort, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, I can't thank you enough for joining us, and good luck on the rest of the NFL season as we watch from home.
Well, good luck to you, Connor, and everybody you work with there. I only live a mile away from Rogers High School.
Wow, you're right here.
And I'm right here.
We need you to come back, maybe. As Mort and I both know, nothing happens on the field that is possible without the supporting cast of fans, trainers, cheerleaders, and many more. We look to the sidelines to shine a little more light on how important these people truly are to the football season. Take a look.
We look forward to the Friday night lights every year. The roar of the crowd, the smell of popcorn from the concession stand, whistles from the referees, and the crash of helmets. Friday night football serves up a special atmosphere week after week. As much as the Wildcats love football, Friday nights spent under the lights wouldn't be the same without the fans behind the players. HAR-BER Band puts in thousands of hours perfecting songs that are always ready for that Wildcat fight song. Our players stay healthy and hydrated from our dedicated athletic trainers and staff. The fans in the stands are entertained by our cheerleaders and Silver Star dancers as they cheer on our team to victory. HAR-BER High School students who aren't on the field playing or cheering recognize that their support is still needed. Enter the Blue Crew. The role that all of these Wildcat fans play is key in the momentum of the game and to the success of the Wildcats. Without the fans, without the music and the cheers, it just wouldn't be the same. Thank you to the fans behind the players. For WCSN, I'm Richard Larga Espada.
Experience everything Springdale has to offer. Visit ExploreSpringdale.com or download the new Explore Springdale app. It's the best place to discover all there is to do and see in Springdale. We'll help you explore our many eateries and attractions and introduce you to our shopping, arts, parks, and trails. You'll also find links to our great hotels and meeting venues. Download the new Explore Springdale app or visit ExploreSpringdale.com to begin your Springdale adventure.
Para un cafecito y charla en la mañana, un menú completo de información. Nuestro compromiso con la familia Springdale llega con la segunda temporada. Nuevas entrevistas, invitados especiales, temas de interés, educación, cultura, identidad y deportes. Entérate de lo que está pasando en el noroeste de Arkansas. Únete al diálogo y acompáñame. Soy Maribel Tapia en Cafecito y Charla.
Are you tired of being turned down for mortgage loans? Advantage One Mortgage is here for you. With over 50 years of combined experience, Advantage One Mortgage LLC are here for your needs. They also offer cash-out refinancing and free pre-approval. Call Advantage One Mortgage today.
Climax at NWA, it's just an easy, customer-centered experience. Right now is probably the easiest time that I've ever seen to achieve financing for people on maybe even a more expensive vehicle or more accommodating vehicle for their family. I've got the best inventory, I would say, in the state, and my people are not only experienced in the car business, but they're experienced in the people business. Whether you just check us out online or you check us out in person, we want you to visit us. Climax NWA and climaxnwa.com.
Hometown. That word still means something here. It means we're neighbors. We do the right thing. We care about your family. And you deserve the very best every time you walk in the front door. Harps. Hometown fresh.
Welcome to McClarty Daniel Country.
With 6 giant locations and over 3,000 vehicles, Northwest Arkansas is McClarty Daniel Country. Stop by one of our showrooms today to shop our full lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs.
McClarty Daniel is proud to be your premier automotive destination.
Need service? We work on all makes and models 6 days a week. Plus, our full-service collision center can repair anything, from a minor ding to a major collision. Have you visited McClarty Daniel Country?
Visit us online at mcclartydaniel.com.
Our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge means faster care. And because we're full service hospitals, a lot more care if you need it. Less waiting, faster care. At Northwest Health System Bentonville and Springdale.
Ozarks Go from Ozarks Electric Cooperative is leading the fiber revolution. Connecting the divide with high-speed broadband access to close that gap. From cloud to cloud, post to post, from downtown to way out of town, to connect our customers to a world of blazing speed and access to absolutely everywhere. It's our customers connected.
Hi, this is Donald Tucker, the voice of the Har-BER Wildcats. Are you looking for a new career? Would you like to become a professional truck driver? The CDL Training School in Taneytown, Arkansas is open and accepting new students. You can earn your CDL in just 3 short weeks with employment after you finish school, and PAM Transport will cover your tuition. You will train in the same equipment that you will drive once you earn your CDL. Plus, students also receive a $100 weekly stipend during training. Don't wait another minute. Call PAM Transport today at 888-498-2549.
Joe and Larry here with Sam's Furniture. We just wanted to thank you for your business and to let you know that your purchase helps serve so many people.
That's right. The culture here at Sam's is to love and serve others in our community and around the globe. So when you buy at Sam's, part of your purchase goes to support one of the many organizations we partner with.
You enable us to invest in our children, teachers, veterans, development in Africa, and distributing wheelchairs to those in need around the world. You are a part of this. So from the Sam's Furniture family to yours,
Thank you.
Good old Mother Nature and time. 2 elements that are unforgiving to any fence. At Sands Fencing, we know Northwest Arkansas can have some crazy weather. That's why we build beautiful quality custom fences designed to stand strong against time and weather. Whether you're new in town or your roots run deep, here's the number you need to keep. Call Sands Fencing today. Get a Sands fence at your place.
It's Smoothie King time!
Welcome back. Joining us now in the studio is KNWA's Chief Meteorologist, Dan Scoff. Dan, thanks for joining us.
Hey, I'm so glad to be here and glad you guys came into the studio.
Yeah. Mr. Scoff, we found out that we're going to have the game postponed, kind of moved up a little bit to Thursday. Kind of tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, here's the deal. An outdoor event such as a football game probably don't want a lot of stormy weather and severe weather potential. So what happens there is we've got some storms that are rolling in on Friday evening, and this could really impact football games. And not only that, but the safety of not only the team participants, but also the spectators. And so I think it's a good call to move that up, looking at the latest computer model information, looking at the latest forecast. Not only is the storm threat increasing, but the severe weather potential is also increasing.
Mm-hmm. And then you've been working here since 2006, 16-year career. Tell us about your career here in KWA, and I mean, just give us some of your highlights.
Yeah, well, we've seen it all here, weather-wise. I mean, we've had the major ice storms, we've had the significant tornado outbreaks, we've had the flooding, we've had the winter weather. Mm-hmm. So in the nearly 18 years that I've been here, definitely a whole lot of weather. And so, I love the place. I love Northwest Arkansas, love the location. It's very challenging when you're forecasting. There's a lot of different weather that goes on here. But I would say some of the highlights for like weather events, the 2009 ice storm, where you had some places that were without power for about a month, if you can believe that. That was January 26, 28 through 2009. Then there was the big 2-foot snowstorm. A lot of seniors in high school remember that one because in 2011, February 9th, there was a snowstorm that dumped 2 feet of snow overnight. And when people woke up, it looked like you were living in a snow globe. And so now what happens is that the seniors in high school, they didn't have to make up those days. So they literally didn't have to go to school for 2 weeks their senior year that
Pretty
winter.
good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And then we've had winter weather events, and we've had flash flooding too. I remember a flash flood April 25th of 2011, same year, where I couldn't pick up my daughter from school because the roads were flooded. I tried to go back to my neighborhood and the neighborhood was flooded. My neighborhood, I couldn't get in. I had to practice what I preach, turn around, don't drown. If I tried to drive through that flooded water, I may have gotten in trouble. So basically, yeah, we've had some crazy weather for sure. Those are some of the highlights.
And then in March, we had the tornado that shocked Springdale. I mean,
Yes.
tell us about your perspective as a meteorologist, especially we're the Har-BER Wildcats. That's Springdale right there.
That is right smack dab in the heart of Springdale. So I'll tell you a little bit about the night before. I was doing a Facebook Live till 3 in the morning, looking at all the latest data, saying, I don't like this. This looks a lot like tornado potential. But I handed it down to our morning meteorologists because they came in. And so I went home, kind of kept one eye on the radar, tried to get a little bit of sleep at the same time. But turns out I was watching the radar. Tornado warning gets issued. I already see the damage on the radar. So what did I do? I went into my son's room. He was sleeping. He's 14 years old. I said, Cade, you want to go see tornado damage? And he popped out of bed faster than I've ever seen. I don't know why he doesn't wake up that fast all the time, but he popped up out of bed. We got on our clothes. We went quickly north, and we encountered the damage before emergency personnel were there, before firefighters. So we were driving in the dark, and all of a sudden, here's a power line and a power pole that's in the middle of the road, so we couldn't go anymore. So we got out of the car. We're walking around. It's pouring down rain, and you can just barely see with the city lights that are left, because there's no lights on either. So you take a flashlight and you see some of the lights that are still, on a little bit west of the city, but you can see the damage and you can see the debris that was thrown into the airport. Now at that time, I didn't know how bad the damage was. I saw a lot of the damage, but I didn't see the Nilfisk plant that was destroyed. That is one of the things that caused it to become EF3. But what a crazy tornado. March 30th, 4 in the morning, while most people are sleeping, and a short-lived but very strong EF3 tornado.
And then we also found out, we did some research, of course, when you were 8 years old, that a tornado came within a quarter mile of your house.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about kind of being chosen, I guess, for this line of work?
Well, I've always had it in my blood. I've always wanted to be a meteorologist. I knew at the age of, like you said, 8 years old, there was an experience that I'll never forget as a kid. I'll make it kind of a short story, a long story short, but what happened is the sky was turning green and the clouds were swirling, and I was telling my dad at 8 years old, this is a tornado, and he's like, don't worry, it's just a thunderstorm. And then everything went dead calm, like so quiet, you could hear a pin drop outside. And so I walk outside and I see the clouds swirling and the tornado siren starts going off. And then next thing you know, we're running down the basement and I see this tree that has all its leaves on, and all of a sudden they shoot in front of our window and we hear a roar. I run downstairs. Sounds like our house is coming apart. We go back upstairs after the roar is over, open up the door, and guess what we see?
Tornado.
No, a blue sky. It's blue sky, it's sunny, it's gorgeous, the birds are chirping, there's a rainbow off in the distance. We're like, what? Wait a minute, 5 minutes ago the sky was falling. So this intrigued me. So then I walked around the neighborhood after, we hear all this, and we went about a quarter mile away from our house, and then there was the damage that a tornado caused. So there was the damage, and when we saw that, I was like, wow, what caused this? I've got to study this stuff the rest of my life. And so here I am, several years later, several years later, and still doing the meteorology bit.
And although your career has been in meteorology, you've also been around NWA for a very long time with sports. I mean, what's your perspective on Har-BER sports, especially we're the Har-BER Wildcats?
Yeah, I think it's great, man. I mean, you can see that we've got a partnership with you guys. That's our Weatherbug Network camera that we have at Har-BER High School, so we can see a lot of the home games. We can see the atmosphere for the games, which is really cool. But I love it. I love there's definitely a competition here between the high schools, and they take high school football very seriously in the South, and Northwest Arkansas is no different. And so I know that, there's been years that have been really, really good in football, and then there's been years where it's kind of rebuilding. We go through the same thing as a weather team. We go through rebuilding years as well. But I think it's awesome what you guys are doing. I think the media crew that you're doing, getting nominated for Emmys, I think that's super exciting. And congratulations to everything you're doing, getting into the broadcast field.
Mr. Scoff, thank you so much for having us here.
You're very welcome.
It's been a pleasure to be in this place, and have a very good Thanksgiving.
Yes.
As me and Mr. Scoff both know, none of this can happen without all the people behind the scenes. We wanted to give some recognition to those people who make this all possible, and we call the package Behind the Scenes. Take a look.
Rolling, and 3, 2, 1.
Many people watch WCSN and don't know the amount of work that truly goes on behind the scenes just to make one episode possible. We wanted to take you behind the scenes from weekly show prep all the way to showtime.
It's been a very fun experience. It's been very fun to do this job, but it's also been very stressful. It's a lot of work. I mean, you turn around in about a 4-day, 5-day notice and make a 40-minute minimum show. And so there's a lot of work that goes into it. I wouldn't be able to do my job without the help of Alexei Vargas, Cesar Batres, Tiffany Hamilton, and many more who have made this possible and made this smoother.
The technical aspects of WCSN are a full-time job and require lots of hours and technical knowledge.
My job is to get the technical side of everything done. So I run some of the cables, and I do any of the stuff you see on the screens. I get the cameras going. I help out anywhere else I can. I do more of the technical side of things, like mics, cameras, all that kind of stuff.
The Wildcat Sports Network is entertaining for viewers to watch, but it is also preparing students for work beyond the classroom.
With the behind-the-scenes activities that happen at WCSN, lots of kids are getting hands-on experience. It's not just, we have our commentator, or our anchor, Connor, but we also have to have those other positions in there. Tech director, and we have our camera operators. We have people that are working the teleprompter who take care of our audio, make sure the lighting looks great. Just producing the show weekly is preparing kids for the industry, because every week they're having to meet deadlines, come up with story ideas, create those packages, get the interviews, create the graphics. All of those things are things that you would do in the industry.
So now you have gotten a first-hand look at what it takes to produce a weekly WCSN show. Wildcat TV staff put in many hours of hard work to deliver you award-winning shows. For WCSN, I'm Cesar Batres.
Learn to love your ride again at Tommy's Express Car Wash in Springdale. At Tommy's Express, our state-of-the-art wash tunnel is the perfect size for practically any vehicles, regardless of size or shape. Our industry-leading wash uses low energy and reclaimed water, making your vehicle clean while being green. You can skip the line while getting great deals and discounts when you download the Tommy Club app. Sign up today for your first month of unlimited washing. Loving your ride is that easy when you go to Tommy's Express Car Wash in Springdale.
During the Great Depression, nothing came easy. But with just 5 cents, an old truck, and a load of hay, John Tyson and his family found a way to deliver quality chicken to other hardworking people. Today, Tyson continues to find new ways to help put a chicken in every pot. Because people deserve farm-raised chicken of the highest quality. At Tyson, we remain committed to this simple promise: to always keep it real, to always keep it Tyson.
The heartwarming hit, Disney's Winnie the Pooh, is about to arrive at Walton Arts Center. Join Pooh, Christopher Robin, and all their friends from the 100-Acre Wood for this beautiful new musical stage adaptation by Rockefeller Productions and Disney Theatrical Productions. Playing October 21st and 22nd for 4 performances only. Get your tickets today at waltonartscenter.org.
Your pet gives you companionship, friendship, and love. At Whole Pet, we are an independently owned business that is passionate about helping you give your pet their best life. We have a great selection of nutritious foods and healthy treats. And when you join our loyalty program, you can earn free bags of food. Spoil your pet with our luxurious spa and grooming services. And while you are at it, grab one of the latest toys to add even more fun and excitement to your pet's day. Whole Pet. Visit our locations in Springdale, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, and our new location coming soon in Bentonville.
Goodbye, paperwork. Hello, convenience. Farewell, waiting. Hello, personal service. Catch you later, dreaming. Hello, planning. Buy your dream home. Connect with a personal banker and easily schedule an appointment with digital tools from HAR-BER Bank. Goodbye limits, hello possibilities.
Try the 3-in-3 meal at Slim Chickens. 3 hand-breaded chicken tenders paired with 3 perfectly fried wings, shaken in your choice of house flavors. Served with fries, Texas toast, and a medium drink. Slim Chickens. Fresh, delicious chicken.
If you want fast, easy, and affordable service, visit McClarty Daniel.
Keep your vehicle running like new in our state-of-the-art service facilities. We know your time is valuable. Our factory-certified technicians with decades of experience will get you in and out and back on the road quickly. We service all makes and models at our 6 convenient locations in Bentonville and Springdale. Open 6 days a week.
Visit McClartyDaniel.com to schedule your service appointment today.
If you need that love, support, somebody to push you, to tell you can do it, I would tell them to come to Cam Transportation. It's a family here. It's not just a regular company. They will look after you. They will show you that you are important, you are welcome here.
Hey Northwest Arkansas, Lara here at Sam's Furniture. If you're looking for new furniture, we have over 170,000 square feet selection at everyday low prices and same-day delivery available. But the best part is that we love to serve our community. So when you buy at Sam's, part of your purchase goes to support one of the many amazing organizations that we have been blessed to partner with. Serving others, especially those in need, is our culture here, and we hope that you'll be a part of that too. Arkansas's largest furniture destination, get it.
It's hot, and so are the savings at Springdale Tractor Company when you buy the Kubota L-Series tractor package. Right now, the Kubota L2501 DT tractor and loader, it's just $18,500 cash, or choose 0 down with 0.99% financing up to 60 months. Save green when you buy orange and the Kubota L-Series tractor package from Springdale Tractor Company. If you need it now, don't wait. Come see us in Springdale at 6160 West Sunset Avenue or shop online at springdaletractor.com.
When getting a mortgage, you need a team that is dependable. With over 50 years of combined experience, Advantage One Mortgage LLC are here for your needs. They also offer cash-out refinancing and free pre-approval. If you have questions regarding income, credit, or funds to close, call us today.
Goodbye, paperwork. Hello, convenience. Farewell, waiting. Hello, personal service. Catch you later, dreaming. Hello, planning. Buy your dream home. Connect with a personal banker and easily schedule an appointment with digital tools from HAR-BER Bank. Goodbye limits, hello possibilities.
Welcome back. Joining us now in the studio is special guest number 2, but number 1.